Alright, what's up, Lab? This is Eric from Ironheart Gym. We went to the September cert for the ABCs down in Flowwood at 2717 CrossFit. So this is going to be the snatch. Alright, ABCs for the snatch. And this is my accomplice, Luke Stroll. Alright, Luke, so we're going to go ahead and just do a warm-up real quick. We're going to do the stretches first, so if you'll go ahead and let's get your snatch grip. So go ahead and
down a little bit.
He wants us to angle it down a little bit.
You gotta see, don't move. Don't move.
Aha. All right. So go ahead and establish that snatch grip. Yeah. Good. And now we're going to go ahead and hold the squatting quad snatch grip for 10 seconds. Go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Go ahead, Luke. Lock it out overhead. We're going to hold that for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And go ahead and get into an overhead squat position. Hold that for 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, Luke. So now we're going to start with the A's, which is the squatting quad sequences. We're just going to use this wooden stick, Lab. Hope that's all right. Luke, we're going to start with the snatch deadlift. So if you'll go ahead, get in the squatting quad position, I'm just going to say deadlift. If you'll stop at the hips, we'll do 2 sets of 3, all right? So deadlift. Good. Back down. And deadlift. And one more. Deadlift. Good. All right. We're going to do one more time. We're going to go through that one more time with 3 of them. And deadlift. Good. Back to squatting quad. Deadlift. One more. Deadlift. All right, now we're going to start with straight arm pulls. Back into the squatting quad position. And straight arm pull. Good. All right, sink back down. Straight arm pull. Good. And one more. Straight arm pull. All right, we're going to do that 3 more times. All right, and straight arm pull. Back to squatting quad. Straight arm pull. All right, we're going to do one more loop. Squatting quad. Straight arm pull. All right, now we're going to do high pulls. So go ahead and get back in the squatting quad position, loop. High pull. Good. Back down into the squatting quad. High pull. Nice. Right back down. Last one. High pull. All right, we're not going to do that twice through. After the high pulls, we're going to go into the muscle snatches, okay? So we're going to go from the squatting quad position to the muscle snatch. So let's just do 3 of these. And we'll move on. And muscle snatch. Good. Back down into the squatting quad. And muscle snatch. One more loop. Muscle snatch. Good. We're going to move on to the power snatches. Go ahead and get back in that squatting quad. Again, we're on A's. And power snatch. Good. Let's do 2 more loops. Squatting quad to power snatch. Good. One more. Power snatch. Good. All right. So after that, we're going to do power snatch to overhead squat. So pause at the power snatch, and then we'll do overhead squat on my cue. Squatting quad position. Power snatch. Squat. Good job. Let's do 2 more of those, Luke. Squatting quad position. Power snatch. And squat. Good. One more. Squatting quad position. Power snatch. Squat. All right, now Luke, we're going to go from squatting quad to full snatch, okay? Let's get 3 of them. If they're good, we'll move on. And squatting quad position. Snatch. Good. Let's get another. Squatting quad position. Snatch. Nice. One more. Squatting quad position. Snatch. Good. All right, now we're going to move on to the B's, the 3-part pauses. All right, Luke? We're going to go straight into the, we're going to start with snatch deadlift. We'll just do 3 of them, okay? So you go ahead and get at the very bottom, pause at the knees, and pause at the, all right, I apologize for that. All right, so we're just going to, we're going to go straight back into that. 3-part pauses. All right, so we're going to start with the snatch deadlift. So pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hip, deadlift. All right, back down, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hip, deadlift. One more loop, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hip, deadlift. All right, now Luke, we're about to do the pulls, okay? Straight arm pull. So pause at the ground, 3-part pause, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hip, pull. All right, 2 more, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, pull. Pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, pull. All right, we're gonna go through these high pulls. We got 3 of those. And pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, high pull. 2 more, 3-part pause, high pulls. And pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hip, high pull. 1 more, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, high pull. All right, now on to the muscle snatch. So, you good? All right, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, muscle snatch. Good, let's do 2 more of those. Pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, muscle snatch. Last one, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, muscle snatch. Good, we're gonna do 3-part pause, but it's gonna be power snatch now, okay? Get ready? Pause at the ground, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, power snatch. All right, 2 more. Pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, power snatch. All right, last one. Pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, power snatch. All right, shake it off for a second.
We're doing clean and jerks today with
Yeah?
Eric.
So get you loose for it. All right. So we're going to move on from the power snatch to the power snatch to overhead squat, okay? So, Luke, if you're ready, pause at the ground.
It's still the 3-part.
Yep, 3-part pause. Pause at the ground. Pause at the knee. Pause at the hips. Power snatch. Squat. Good. Do 2 more of those. That look nice. And pause at the ground. Pause at the knee. Pause at the hips. Power snatch. Squat. Good. Let's do 1 more. Pause at the ground. Pause at the knees. Pause at the hips. Power snatch. And overhead squat. Good. So now this is the end of the B's, the 3-part pauses. We're going to do full snatch, 3-part pause. You ready? All right. Pause at the ground. Pause at the knee. Pause at the hip. Clean. Up snatch. Full snatch.
Let's do that again. Let's do that again.
All right, here we go. Let's try it again.
All right.
Pause at the ground. Pause at the ground. Pause at the knee. Pause at the hips.
Full squat snatch.
Snatch. Good. 2 more. Sweep the knees. Pause at the ground.
Yep.
Pause at the knee. Pause at the hips. Oh, man. Yeah, I apologize. All right. We're going to start that part over because I completely jacked it up, guys. All right, Luke. 3-part. No, bro. I'm sorry. We were still on the 3-part pauses. I didn't mess anything up. We hadn't gotten to the C's yet. We were still on the full snatch. Wait, he's. All right, last one. We're gonna start over at the very beginning.
Right.
Pause at the ground.
Yep.
Pause at the knee.
Yep. Hips.
Pause at the hips. Full snatch. 1. We got 2 more of those. All right.
All right.
And we're a 3-part pause.
Yeah.
Pause at the ground. Pause at the knees.
Yep.
Pause at the hips.
Oh yeah.
Snatch. 1 more. 1 more. All right. Here we go. Pause at the ground.
Now we're back.
Pause at the knee. Pause at the hips.
Hips.
Snatch. Good. Now, Luke, what you've been waiting for. We're going to the C's, which is 3-part, 2-part, 1-part pause snatch sequence. Here we go. We're going to start with, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and just start with the high pulls. We're going to skip the straight arms. So we're going to start with the high pulls. All right, so pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, high pull. All right, now it's going to be 2-part pause. So pause at the ground, pause at the knee, high pull. And 1-part pause, pause at the ground, high pull. Now we're going to do it with no pause and at your leisure. Go ahead. Good. All right, now we're going to go to the muscle snatch. 3-part, 2-part, 1-part pause, muscle snatch. Here we go. And pause at the ground, pause at the knees, pause at the hips, muscle snatch. Good. Now we're going to do 2-part pause. Here we go. Pause at the ground, pause at the knee, muscle snatch. Nice. And 1-part pause, pause at the ground, muscle snatch. And no pause at your convenience. Come on. Nice. All right, now we're going to move on to the power snatch. 3-part, 2-part, 1-part pause. Pause at the ground. Pause at the knee.
Yep.
Pause at the hips.
Yep.
Power snatch. Good. 2-part pause. Pause at the ground. Pause at the knee. Power snatch. Good. And 1-part pause. Pause at the ground. Power snatch. All right, at your own leisure, do one more full power snatch, no pause.
Extend.
Get full extension this time, too. There you go. All right, we're going to move on to the power 2 overhead squat, okay? So, 3-part pause, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hip, power snatch, overhead squat. Good. And we're going to start with 2-part pause, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, power snatch, overhead squat. Good. 1-part pause, pause at the ground, snatch, and overhead squat. Good. All right, now we're going to do the full snatch, all right? 3-part, 2-part, 1-part pause, then snatch. Here we go. Pause at the ground, pause at the knee, pause at the hips, full snatch. Good. 2-part pause, pause at the ground, pause at the knee, snatch. Good job.
Slow.
Last one. Pause at the ground, snatch. And at your leisure, one more, no pause. Good job. It's been a pleasure, guys. Hope y'all are doing great. Merry Christmas.